Coming at you live from my home studio in beautiful La Puente, California. This is the All Dodgers podcast. What is going on, Clint Nation? That sounded very loud. Happy Thirsty Thursday to everybody. It's another off-day edition of the show, and I think we're all a little upset about this Dodgers team, so we're going to dive into that on today's show. I'll ask the question, are the Dodgers kind of mid? Well, you tell us. Is the National League West slipping from the Dodgers' grasp? That's another thing we'll kind of dive into. And other things, we're going to have a new segment calling it Honest Truth. It's probably a lot like all the other segments, but you got to brand things. Plus, the voicemail hotline is stacked. You guys went off on this one. And we'll look ahead to the Pirate series here on another edition of All Dodgers Live. Today, we are drinking some Cayman Jack. We'll get producer Kevin in the show in just a second. But, I want to thank you guys for I'm saying it again, for 7,000 subscribers, because I forgot to change that part of the script where I have that in there at the top. But if you guys are watching live, drop it in the comments. Let us know where you're representing your Dodgers fandom tonight. I am Clint Pasillas. Find me as Real FRG on the Twitter, on the Instagram. That guy right there is Kevin Skinner, at Skinner7Kevin on the Twitter. How you doing, my guy?
A little better. Somebody just pointed out, and we'll get to it soon. Yeah, I'm back.
He's back.
I'm physically here, mentally, yikes. But apparently Walker Buehler is currently in the midst of a no-hitter at AAA.
Oh, what is it like? He got the first out of the game. Hey, thank you. Thank you.
4 innings.
Kevin Uhas in the chat says extend Dave Roberts. That's what we're about, guys. Like I said, there's a lot of voicemails. I haven't looked at many of them. I'm a little scared. I haven't listened to a whole lot of them. Some of them are long. There's a few of them that are long. So just throwing that out there. Cool. But we'll play along with it, you know. But before we get into the fun of the show and all that, I got to tell you the fun of Bet Online, which is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything online sports betting. And right now, listeners of this frickin' show can receive a 50% free bet of up to $250 on your first deposit. You can bet on those Olympics. You can bet on the baseball, the Formula One racing, much, much more. BetOnline has every stat, every matchup, even live odds and spreads when the games are being played. If there's not a game being played or you're not into betting on those, you can head on over to the online casino, get in on a game of blackjack, get in on a game of poker. There's over 150 slot games to be played, so have fun with those. Head to the website today, get in on the action, use that promo code BELIEVE, BLEAV, for your 50% free bet credit on your first deposit up to $250. Bet Online, the game starts here. And Kevin, I hear you're low. Is your audio low? Guys, let us know if Kevin sounds good.
Yeah, let me know. I can turn my mic up, or you can turn me up. Either way.
Yeah, sometimes Kevin's excited, and other times he's a normal human being. I've been doing this long enough where I know you have to be up here, and then afterwards you could be like sad and depressed, like we all are with the Dodgers. So, Kevin, let's find some comments. How are people feeling tonight?
Calvin the Goat ENT says we are mid, but we'll be better eventually.
It's fair.
So
it's fair.
That's
progress. Progress.
It's progress. Showtime LA believes butane's better than Thor. I don't think the numbers support that claim, but you know.
I mean, it's something. I don't want Thor on my team as much as I want Buehler right now, but Buehler's going to be around. We'll talk Buehler later on in the show for sure. We got some ideas right there. Mr. Classic asking, no Dodger game today? No, not today.
Thank God.
Yeah, I really needed a break. You know, I retweeted your tweet, by the way, because I could not agree with it more, having just thought it a few minutes or maybe an hour before you tweeted it. But I was like, how many times have we felt this season like, man, the Dodgers really need this day off coming up? And they've had a lot of days off, it feels like. But this one, they really needed this freaking day off. And it's at home. Hopefully that helps them out a little bit. But it just feels like we've been saying that way too much this season.
Yeah, I mean, part of it is definitely the injuries. Every day off is like one day closer to Mookie Betts coming back. So
that's the spirit.
That's how I take it.
We are Mookie Betts days away, or something like that would be bad. That would be like 50 days away. We are like a week away, less than a week away from getting Mookie back. King Yellowman in the chat. What's going on, King Yellowman? Good to see you. Says, oh my God, Clint, tell us it's going to be okay. I could tell you that, and I could mean it. It will be okay. We will survive and endure, all of us as fans, the Dodgers as well. Things will be okay. This is just, it's a painful stretch of like I said, mid. It's a painful stretch of mid. But we'll get a fire off a few more comments, and then we will get into our first big topic of the day. And also, guys, keep us updated on Buehler if anybody has that going.
I've got it going. A lot of oh nope, he gave up a homer.
We're back, baby.
We're back, baby.
We are
He's
all the way back.
Yep. No, I think it was a one-outer. But a lot of support for Butane, which we appreciate around here. Love Walker Buehler. It's just
we need a good version.
It's been ugly.
We need a good version. Hell, I would even take like 22 version, which was bad, which was hurt, but what we saw earlier, there was just a lot of missing pieces of Walker Buehler, and they say he's coming back. But again, Buehler much later on in the show. Denny Cortez in the chat says we're all gluttons for punishment here. Amen, sister. $1.99 super chat from our friend Swollen Sausage. Thank you very much. Says, what do you think about maybe walking Schwarber? It says Sherbert. I like that.
Sherbert.
I like that one. That's a great.
Yeah, I like Sherbert. Yep.
So
also like the treat.
Huh?
I like the treat. I like Sherbert.
That's a good
dessert. It's delicious. Yeah, I thought it was weird after the wild pitch. You have first base right there, just like staring you in the face.
Yeah.
Maybe don't throw the guy who went 400 and something feet.
And Joe Kelly, who clearly did not have his elite command at that point in the game. And another guy who was already, in Super Saiyan mode, as Kyle Schwarber is wont to do. I did, some people in our Discord chat will put the blame, they'll put the onus on me for just feeling in my bones that Kyle Schwarber was going to have a game. And he had himself a fucking game on Wednesday at Dodger Stadium. My God, did that kid have himself a game? What, 3 homers? How many? 6 RBI?
It was a lot. We were approaching on Sean Green territory.
Pin Sanity says Joe Kelly, elite command. I usually don't hear those words ever in the same sentence unless they are about they are in jest, which is what I was going with there. And we pay our respects to his backyard window, his bedroom window. But guys, let's move on. Let's get into today's big ticket. Dodgers, a little rough, we'll say. Keep continuing to play 500 baseball. Let's see. They were 44-29 when Mookie got hurt. They have gone 22-20 since. I think it's since having a season-high 9-game lead in the NL West back on June 20th. They've gone 19-19. So is this a tough stretch? This is our question for everybody. The topic of the day of this A block. Is this a tough stretch fueled by all of the injuries, or are the Dodgers just kind of mid? That is the question. What do you think? I'm going to let you sound off on this one. I've already had a baseball show today to kind of talk about things. I want to know, are you mad? Not mad. Sorry, I saw Diane.
Yeah.
Giving a $5 super chat saying that she's still mad at me for calling that big game. I didn't call the big game for Sherbert. I just said I felt it. I predicted it. It's like betting on the ponies. But anyways, are the Dodgers bad, Kevin, or is there just still some missing pieces and opportunities for this team to gel?
I mean, it's definitely the latter. This team isn't mid. When you lose, I think at that point, Mookie was the front runner for MVP. When you lose that kind of talent, when you lose, I don't think enough people, absence makes the heart grow fonder. You don't realize what you have in Max Muncy till he's gone.
Yeah.
And, him batting 5th, where I think Hayward was batting 5th last night, there's a huge difference there just in the eye, in the actual threat at the plate. When you lose players like that, when you lose a Yoshinobu Yamamoto for extended periods of time, the bullpen's just been a rotating carousel of bodies at this point. It's tough for any team to overcome that and have a winning record. I think 500 is honestly pretty good. I just took a look at who they've played. They've played some pretty bad teams in that stretch since June 20th.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like I said, when you're missing all of that talent, it's really, really tough to overcome that, especially when it shakes. Like, we're not talking about missing, like, even if Gavin Lux went out, right, and he's batting like 8th or 9th, that doesn't shake up too much of the lineup. But when you're missing your leadoff hitter and a guy who literally bats at the heart of the order, that changes a lot of dynamics for the entire team. Shohei, up until a couple weeks ago, had been filling in perfectly fine as the leadoff hitter. But then again, we're looking at the 5 through 9 and just going, what are we doing with Kevin Biggio? Now it's Kevin Kiermaier.
I haven't heard that name in years.
Yeah, it's just there's a lot of guys that really shouldn't even be sniffing a major league roster.
Yeah,
and they're 500. You know what I like? If you took Shohei Ohtani out of this lineup and slapped a White Sox jersey on it.
Yeah, you would. No. I won't give you White Sox. Year. I won't give you White Sox just because they are historically bad. They are an historically bad team.
You could do Rockies. They'll get a couple guys in there that are worth their salt.
Yeah, maybe Rockies. I would give it more Giants, to be honest, because Giants just always find that way to be 500-ish. I don't know who. I want people sound off in the comments. Who's the best one? But it's not the White Sox. We won't say the White Sox. Kenny Chung, maybe the Rays. Tampa Bay Rays.
No, the Rays are still good. Kenny Chung, Padres, and D-backs. Win regardless of their injuries. What's the Dodgers' excuse? Are either of those teams missing MVP candidates?
Well, they finally started getting healthy through most of the early throws of the season. When those teams were struggling and bad, they were missing their key role players, their key pieces. Now all of a sudden, they've, for the greater part, got a lot of their pieces back. And Arizona, I haven't looked at the numbers. I know the pitching was not good for a while. Monty sucked ass, and who was the other guy they picked up? I can't remember right now, but they're starting.
Erod hasn't pitched
yet. That's right.
So he's just pitching.
Yeah.
Darvish, Tatis, Musgrove. Musgrove wasn't great before he went on the injured list. Neither was Darvish. Tatis was actually playing well, but not to ringworm form. And when Xander Bogaerts went down, he was terrible. So he's gotten healthy and been better since coming back from injury, but they haven't played well. Machado's been playing through injury. Sure, I'll maybe give you that, but other than that, they haven't been missing the same type of talent that the Dodgers have. None of those players are Mookie Betts. None of those Machado, you could argue.
Yoshinobu Yamamoto. There's a lot of pieces.
There's a lot of key pieces.
Jorge said earlier, my buddy Jorge said earlier in the chat, and I saved it on this one, saying cannot wait for Mookie, Muncy, and I was going to say Edmonds, Tommy Edman to be activated. I'm also, we don't need to get into the Edmund stuff too much. I can have my worries about a guy that has not played at all this season, but for the greater part, he's somebody who is a very, very solid player. The defense will be there for sure, but this is a team that's playing without those guys and Shohei very up and down. Shohei kind of running out of some gas at some points. We talked about it now on Monday. Talked about it earlier today on Dodgers territory. Will Smith, where are you? And the dude is missing in action. Will has been bad, and those were guys early in the season that were carrying. Lux has picked up. Lux has kind of picked up some of those pieces to help out Will's struggles, but it's really just been sometimes Shohei, always Teoscar being in there, and now it's kind of Lux and the rest. And some of those guys are doing some things, but we're talking about a different type of ball game when you welcome back Mookie, when you welcome back Max Muncy, we hope, knock on desk, and you inject Tommy Edman into that lineup, things start to look a little bit better. So to my question, I will answer real quickly, and then I'll throw it back to you. To my question of are the Dodgers mid? Yes, right now, when they're missing those stars, they are 1,000% mid. But is it a bad team overall? Is it a bad roster? There's some pieces that could have been better, but I would say To that question, no, it's not a bad roster. It's a flawed roster, but it's still better than most ball clubs out there. Agree or disagree?
No, absolutely. It's still better than most ball clubs out there. I mean, playing 500 ball with the injuries they've had, like I've said, a lot of teams haven't played 500 ball in that span. So it's a flawed roster, like you said. It's not a bad roster. It's just injured right now, and that's fine.
Very.
It's an injured roster. It's a flawed roster. They took some swings on players that they hoped could turn it around. Kike and Outman, they didn't pull through.
Oh,
and
Jimmy.
if one of those guys hits even like league average, it's a different team. So they swung and missed on a couple players, and we're kind of it's created the hole that we're in. That being said, I feel bad for guys like Chris Taylor, who was turning it around up until he pulled his groin. So that sucks. Gavin Lux has at least looked better as of late. Miggy Rowe, I don't know where this team would be without him. So some guys have stepped up, but none of them are going to fill the hole or the shoes left by a Mookie Betts, or really even a Max Muncy, who, and like when I say like missing Max Muncy, I'm not even really talking about the bat at this point. His defense at third,
it was.
I'm like, I was kind of missing it at a point. When you have Kevin Biggio, fumbling fumbling grounders.
Yeah.
And same with Kike. Like, I'm sitting there going, hey, I think Max gets to that one this time around. So
and even with Muncy too, you're saying not in the lineup. I will say in the lineup just because it's a presence. He could always go yard, and I think that means something to the opposing pitcher. And knowing that when he does come back, he's somebody who's going to be in that 5-hole, that 6-hole, that 7-hole, wherever he's going to end up, just extends that lineup that much more. And we're going to have a lot more, better pieces in the right spots. It's just about something I said 5 months ago, whatever it was, before the season even started. Sometimes I even stray from my own words on this, but this whole season, the whole first few months, it's gone on longer than I anticipated because of the in-season injuries. But the whole first few months was just going to be about weathering the storm, surviving, and getting some bodies back. Not the bodies we were anticipating at this point. Then it was Kershaw, Dustin May, Walker Buehler. Now it's getting your horses back with Yamamoto, with Mookie, with Max Muncy, and so forth. But I will say this: I appreciate the competition being back here in the National League West, because that's something also people who have watched me for years know I complained about. I've complained about a lot. Usually the Dodgers can just kind of waltz their way to a National League West outside of the 2021 season and 2018 season. There hasn't been that much competition. So now I'm honestly excited for meaningful baseball in the month of September, because it has been a hot minute since we've experienced that, since we've seen that. So Dodgers gave Arizona the gift of mid-baseball, of 500 baseball, to let them get healthy and get back in the race. And hopefully, as stressful as these next just under 2 months will be, it's also going to be fun. It's also going to be exciting. It's also going to be, we want to rip our hair out, and we're going to get 15 more voicemails saying fire Dave Roberts or whatever it may be. But that's fun. That's where baseball is exciting, because the last couple of years, meaningful baseball late in the season has been ripped away from us. Each of the last 2 years, each of the last 3 years, early the last 2, because of just a team that did not look ready for the postseason. So
that ties into a $4.99 super chat we just got
go.
from Matthew Villarreal.
Thank you very much.
Sorry, I butchered that. I apologize. Why is all this money being spent but not extending Corey Seager or Machado? Something has to change. Early exits out of the playoffs is not acceptable. Yeah. That they offered Corey, he denied. We've been over this a million times, and that they were never extending Machado. I don't think where that team was and what they would have needed out of Machado at the time, at least on a character or mentality level, he wasn't ready at that moment. And I think even Padre fans would kind of agree. For the first few years, he had a couple good seasons, I think 22, but they even saw like some of the Manny Machado experience, maybe a little bit too much with some of the clubhouse antics or whatever happened.
I honestly I bought into some of the Manny Machado smoke and mirrors before last season. Before the Padres extended him, he was somebody I had circled on my 2023 2024 offseason wish list. I was like, if the Dodgers can go out and add him as the third baseman, that would be pretty good. But then the Padres were really bad in 23, and he was just like, whatever, like some little rich bitch, about uppity bitch about how bad they were, and that's just baseball. That's just baseball. Like,
it's just baseball. He's not Johnny Hustle. He's not John. I will never forgive him for that Johnny Hustle and not
Rebecca is happy. We did not keep Machado, by the way. Neil saying Machado wasn't a hustle guy when he was on the Dodgers. Absolutely was not a hustle. I could still see that World Series homer that wasn't a homer and it turned into the longest single off the wall. Dumbass.
But like now he's grown a lot and he's an actual leader in that clubhouse. He's been a leader for Tatis, or he's been a role model for Tatis. He's been really good in that clubhouse in the last year or two. But back in 2018, not so much. Dodger Blue with a 199 super chat saying, "Man, we suck." Yeah, we do. God, we suck right now.
Oh no, we suck again.
Suck again.
Oh God. Well, I don't know why we're talking about Manny Machado, but I'm okay. I'm okay with where we're at, knowing these pieces are coming back. I think, having the challenge, having something a little bit different for this team, having them have to fight for something, that only helps, because each of the last two seasons in particular have been very similar, where they're good, they get that first round bye, they say they have the off days figured out and all of this, and then they don't. And they shit the bed, and they did it worse each year in 22 and then in 23. So give them something different. And if they don't make they're going to make the postseason. I said this earlier in Dodgers territory, but breaking news, everybody go report this to your aggregator sites. The Dodgers will make the postseason. If they don't, I want this to be clipped and put on, was it the unfortunate scenes or unfortunate events or whatever on Twitter. They're going to make it, but if they don't win the NL West, it's fine. If they make it as a third wild card, you're still in that dance. And if they don't, they didn't fucking deserve it, and we get to save our suffering and maybe pick another team early in the postseason to kind of root for, like I did last year with my Texas Rangers. Let's go, Corey. But I'm not terribly worried about this team, and they got a lot of pieces to move around, and I think things will be okay. Weather that storm. That's all you got to do. Just keep until somebody comes back with what's it called? What's that sticky tape stuff the guy uses to fix it? He makes boats and he fixes the leak.
Flex Seal.
Yeah, Flex Seal. Look, we're shoveling the water out of the boat.
That's a lot of damage.
Hey, not a sponsor. We're shoveling the water out right now, and we need somebody to get that Flex Seal. Come back with the Flex Seal, fix that leak, and we'll be okay. Boom, analogy.
I'll build a boat somewhere in this kitchen if Flex Seal wants me to, show off their product. I can be Billy Mays.
Hey guys, hold on, wait. Where's my? There it is. Breaking news. Somebody said it. Where'd it go? Somebody said, or Leonardo says, "Hey Clint, Ipe just delivered my pizza."
Nice.
Because you guys see, Ipe doesn't have a job anymore. But anyways, that's our first part of the show. Mike Saldana says we're broken. I don't think we're broken. I think we're down, but we're not out. That's where I'm at.
I think, as Pink once said, we're not broken, just bent.
Then we can learn to love again. Guys, here's our first part of the show. I got to do some reminders, and then we got a bunch of voicemails. I appreciate you guys calling in hot on the voicemail hotline today, but I got to let you know about Patreon, because it's a cool way, I think, to help support the channel. If you're looking for a different way to support the channel outside of just subscribing and sharing videos to your grandma and making sure she's watching through her accounts as well. Patreon.com/RealFRG, $5 a month. You can support the channel. You could also join us on the Discord server, where we're having a bunch of conversations, a bunch of complaint sessions about this team day in and day out. So it's a lot of fun in there, getting a nice community going and growing. So you get that either on Patreon or here on YouTube members. We also have our first All Dodgers meetup. It's an official, unofficial meetup going on this Sunday, Matt Kemp bobblehead night. Meet some of the characters whose names you've seen here on YouTube for years. I will be there, of course. Our friend Richie from Devore will be there. Diane, so many more. Matt, I think, is going to be there. I know Noah Ortega will be there, I believe. But people, we're all going to be there. We're going to be having a good time. We're going to be having some beers about it. So Left Field Pavilion, section 303, over up at the top by the drink rails. Come by. Come say hi. Your boy drinks Modelo, but don't buy it for me and then walk it over because I don't want to get raped. But too soon? Too soon. No, listen, either way, we just want to meet you. We want to hang out and see some baseball game together, see some Matt Kemp bobblehead night day together. So, again, come hang out. Maybe we'll do a group photo and have some fun with that. But that is this Sunday, All Dodgers official meetup at Dodger Stadium. And to hear about it, if you can't make it, hit that subscribe button. We'll be talking about it probably on Monday. My friend Rebecca and Jorge Romero, my bad. You guys will be out there, and you guys can meet Baby Dingers as well, because Baby Dingers will be there. But enough about.
I will not be there.
He will not be there. You're not gonna.
I was there. I was behind enemy lines last week, but yeah, I had to come on back. So
you had to go and do that. But guys, we're at that point in the show here where we have to flip to something fun. It's not just our voices now. It's time for some overreactions. And again, we got a lot of overreactions in here. I think there's like 7. I don't know if I'm going to play them all, just because I think there's about 10 minutes of overreactions. But let's see. Let's go where our heart leads us. And first, leading us off is going to be our friend Diane Schroeder, and she's got some things to say.
Hello, beautiful people. It's Diane Schroeder. Let's talk about last night's umpiring disaster. That botched call at third just can't happen in today's technology era. Miggy Rowe made an impeccable play and tagged the runner out, and clearly the umpire didn't even see the play. I wonder what game he was watching, because Miggy Rowe gave a lane to the runner and tagged him out by a mile. This play has to be reviewable, and MLB has to change it, because this one play changed the outcome of the whole game. And good on Dave Roberts for sticking up for his player and getting tossed. It's about time. Well, that's it for me. Like and subscribe. Bye.
Diane, and look at that. Even Kevin could hear the voicemails now.
I can hear it now.
We're proud of you for being proud of me for figuring out how to do that.
Exactly.
Yeah, we didn't talk. I talked a good amount about it on DT earlier. I know you were heated last night about the whole situation there. I think we said it anyways. I should also thank Diane again for calling in. Appreciate you, Diane. Appreciate all the support as always. But Kevin, here's your platform. Here's your opportunity to complain about that stupid rule. You get 40 seconds. I decided, and I'm not going to hold you to the number. Just
perfect
awfulness of Hunter Wendelstedt.
So Hunter Wendelstedt, that the call was bad. So you could go a lot of directions with this. Here's where I land on it. They had 3 overturned calls in the Phillies' favor, which all the overturned calls were correct, and they blew the call at third base. That is 4 mistakes on that umpiring crew in one night. That is way too many for professional umpires. Sorry, you just can't have that in any game, especially, when at a pivotal point in the game, let alone it happens in the playoffs. It needs to be looked at. MLBPA, I don't know who runs it, needs to do something about it, because that's ridiculous. It's too much. I could go on and on and on about it. They got the call wrong. Dave was right to call out Hunter Wendelstedt, and you just
the fact that the umpires, the umpire that makes the game-changing play is not available and doesn't have to answer for his crimes against humanity, that's I think the biggest problem with this, outside of you can't argue about get people together. That's a situation where before review you can get the umpires together, have a conversation. Even if this stupid rule is in place back in the day, they can have a conversation and be like, maybe somebody at second base is like, nah, I had the angle, I don't see what you're seeing, bro.
So I tweeted the same thing out. So as far as I'm aware, you cannot review pitch clock violations either. in the Padres-Pirates game, this is where I'm going with this. Padres-Pirates game, the home plate umpire called a pitch clock violation on the pitcher. Now, because he didn't throw it when the clock expired. However, upon review, where the umpires got together and talked about it, they determined that the batter had not gotten set at the 8-second mark. And so they incorrectly set the count 0-0, where it should have been 1-0, actually in favor of the pitcher, but they still wiped the strike away. So instead of being 0-1, it was now 0-0. And that's a non-reviewable play that when the umps got together, they changed. Why can't they do that in this instance? Why couldn't the second base umpire come over and be like, hey, yeah, he didn't obstruct the play at all. The ball brought him into the lane. Yeah. Miggy Rowe actually did everything he could to get his legs out of the way.
I said that.
No reason they can't do that.
I said that earlier. What is he supposed to do in that situation?
It's bad. It's so bad.
It's so bad. And I mean, we know we've seen particularly Hunter Wendelstedt, but you've seen some of that umpiring crew. Every once in a while, it seems like they just pile the worst ones together and just kind of let it eat. And I think the league likes giving John Boy some material to run with and do some lip readings or something like that. Boom, there's your tinfoil hat for the night, kids.
No.
But
Dave didn't even give him anything good. Come on. It was just, I'm defending my player. I watched the video. I saw what he had to say.
Yeah, no, it's bad. I don't think there's a single person that knows baseball who thought that was a bad play, who thought there was some sort of infraction there, who thought there was, what did they officially call it again? Obstruction. There was not obstruction in that play. Even if Mookie or Miggy's foot was like an inch or two over and slightly more where the hand was going, it still was not obstruction.
Well,
Terrible
and he
call.
He already had possession of the ball when that happened. So his left leg comes into the lane as he has the ball in his glove. There's just no reason. Oh, the play is so stupid and dumb, and I can't believe. Because you can review that. If that play happens at home plate, you can review it. It's 90 feet away. Just review that one too. It's just
fix yourself, baseball. Fix yourself, baseball.
It's so dumb.
What did I see? BC said the foul territory guys sided with us, of course, because they're mostly ball knowers. Phrasing. Rebecca says Miggy Rowe practically did a full split again. Like he did, and this is a guy playing his first game off IL, off the injured list. Like he could not have done anything different to turn that play at third base. Selena in the chat saying no wonder the umps didn't want Angel Hernandez to retire. Oh, Angel, I kind of miss him. I'm not gonna lie, I miss him a little bit. But we should move on. I said a little bit.
No, you don't.
Listen, you know how you do the thing where there's a car wreck and you have. I'm not a rubbernecker, but I will keep driving my speed and I'll side eye it. Like you want to see the car wreck. Angel Hernandez was our car wreck. He's gone.
Matty Man says, okay, bad call, but the Dodgers didn't score a run after that either. Yeah, because it's deflating. Your manager gets tossed. Your manager gets tossed. You give up a huge lead. It's insurmountable at that point, and it's horrible because I don't know, when you get something taken out of your control that you've worked so hard for, you just kind of sit there and go, then what the hell's the point? Why do it? It's so tough to come back from something like that. If they had, that would have been a goddamn miracle. It's tough. It's just, is that the trait of a World Series winning team? Man, we're not even in September yet. This isn't the World Series. If that happened to the World Series, I would fully expect everybody to protest, or the Dodgers to protest the game.
Oh, yeah.
It's different now. And it's the same thing. We had this conversation in Discord. It's the same reason Dave left Brett Honeywell out to die the other night is because it's not the World Series.
Yeah.
If it's the World Series, you have a 2-run lead or you're down 2 going to the 9th. Guess what? Brett Honeywell's not even pitching. He's probably not even on the roster. It's a little different in August. So it's so bad.
Cole says that play can be uplifting or demoralizing, and I think in that situation, it absolutely brought the team down. Somebody in the chat earlier mentioned that Dave didn't he obviously he got tossed, but he didn't get thrown out. He got thrown out. He didn't get tossed. He didn't get ejected. Like, he didn't earn it.
No,
he
didn't earn it.
He was just kept being like, "Come
They
on,
said it was
bro! Like,
Wilt
are
Chamberlain
you?"
who never.
It's like, are you serious? Are you? That's essentially what Dave was trying to throw out there. I know John Boy did do the breakdown. I didn't watch it in its entirety today, but Hunter Wendell said just wanted nothing to do with it, and like, oh, I get to throw you out now because of the rule. But Dave, I mean, I would have loved to see Dave, and I said this earlier as well on DT. I would have loved to see him go in there, set Hunter on fire, Kike get involved. One of those infielders in that spot needs to get involved. I think they need to get tossed. You have Nick Ahmed, who could have come off the bench. You have Ahmed Rosario, who could have come off the bench. You had enough support there. Just give me some anger. Give me some violence. Well, not violence, but give me something in that situation. I would like to see a little bit more.
Bob Nightingale, Dodgers are playing like my tweets. That's that's so good. So good. Appreciate that. Pulling us out of the doldrums, out of the dretches, and I don't think that's a word.
But let's get back into
a laugh.
A lot more voicemail action and fun. This one is looks like it's from Calvin. We got Calvin the Goat, I believe, in the chat. First time. Let's find out.
Them. Hey, Clint. My name is Calvin. My username is Calvin the Goat. And look, the team is struggling. We look like we might give up the division. But honestly, isn't this what people were asking for last year? People were tired of us kind of rolling through the season and winning by 16 games, 12 games, 14 games, kind of coasting through September and August and not really playing meaningful baseball until October, getting a break and stuff like that. So, maybe this long grind of the season will kind of help us out later on. When you think about it, the last time we actually had success in the playoffs and won a series was 2021, when we were going head to head with the Giants and trying to win the division, losing by one, but, you won the game that actually matters at the end of the day. And that's all that matters now. Like, we don't care about the division. I don't think any one of us is actually buying, divisional shirts and whatnot. We just want to win the World Series. I think we'll be okay if we get healthy again. I mean, the lineup we had yesterday with Kike at cleanup, like, come on, that's a AAA lineup. I think we'll be okay if we all get healthy, get Yamamoto back, get Mookie back, and go on a run and win the World Series. That's all we want. Thanks, Clint. Have a good show.
Calvin, great first call. Appreciate you. I've seen your name on the YouTube for a long time. Great stuff. And I mean, it echoes some of the stuff I was saying there as well. It's like, we've asked for this, and now we're getting it, and some fans kind of don't know how to deal with having a team that isn't going out and being, always 20 or 30 games over 500.
Was it 2015? When was game 163? Was it 2015?
It was 18.
Was it 18? It was 18? Okay.
2018.
I remember
the day Buehler was born.
I don't know. I've got a lot of my dad on the mind lately. I remember I was in a parking lot. We had just gotten out of a movie when game 163 was being played, and we listened to the end of that game in the parking lot. And it was so good. And honestly, it mirrors a lot of playoff experience that you don't really get immediately, because those 2 weeks leading up to September, it's boring. You're like, okay, cool, you got a 10-game lead, but game 163, it's got everything you could ever want. You just bring your heart medication and hope it doesn't give out. So,
hey, who was calling that game? Was that a Charlie Steiner game?
Yeah,
on radio.
It was Steiner. Yeah. Well, from the third inning on.
They didn't have anybody else at that point, huh?
It was Steiner. It was Steiner did that. Well, Vin did the first three, and then Steiner took over.
No, not in 18. Vin was retired. Not in 18. Yeah, it would have been Charlie for the game. Charlie and Rick Monday, or they had one more.
Charlie.
They had one more person at that time. But even so, we could look that up. This is not pertinent to the story or the everything else. But no, 163 was something special, and I agree with what Calvin said there. Like in 21, I've said that a few times over the last couple of weeks. The last time they actually had to play for something till the end of the season is the last time they advanced past the National League Division Series. So there's something to it. In my opinion, there's absolutely something to it. But we got another call. Got a few more voicemails. And you know it wouldn't be a show if we weren't hearing from our friend Richie in Devore. Richard, take it away, bud.
Kids, get out of the room quick.
Well,
I thought that was,
never
the start of his call.
underestimate the baseball gods who decided to say, hey, 3 in a row. We were all feeling very happy. We were slapping backs and kissing babies. And then the baseball gods decided to give us the double middle fingers last night. The problem is that we have enough talent to hold the line. We have enough talent to at least still compete in these series. But that hasn't happened. We score early and then never to be heard from again. Bad calls or no bad calls. And let's not kid ourselves. That was a god-awful call. And then Wendelstedt didn't even want to discuss it. But the fact of the matter is that perception is reality. And even though I know they care and they're not happy with what's going on, but you can't allow yourself to die like that. You can't allow an inning to implode like that. And blame that call all you want, but Joe Kelly's got to throw strikes. And how are we allowing Schwarber to come into our house, crash our party, open up the refrigerator, drink all our beer, eat all our snacks, and then basically leave the party with all of our dates and never to be seen or heard from again, and all while he's just laughing his ass off and giving us the middle bird as he walks out the door? That just can't happen. We just can't allow it. And Grover, I don't blame Grover. I know he wants to do well, and he has that kind of potential. But the problem is that this guy's hit his wall. He's done. He's fried. And I don't know what else to say. And lastly, you can't allow to be punked like that. Castellanos staring at Grove. He's got that face shield. He's got all that padding. He's got the elbow guard, and we nicked him. Oh, poor effing baby. That just must have hurt tremendously. Hope you enjoy your 15 days on the IL for that. Oops, no, he walked to first base. And then to do that tough guy bullshit, he just basically showed us up, and Grove just stood there on the mound with his finger up his ass and basically didn't do anything about it. And then they dot locks. And what do? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And that's the perception of not having any fight. But hey, at least Doc got tossed, so we got that going for us. So F the Phillies, F this whole season, F all these injuries, and for the love of God, F the Ghost Runner. See ya.
You know, Richie's making me drink here, guys.
True.
Ugh. Oh, man.
This
Some good
isn't water,
stuff.
so.
Yeah, this is totally apple juice, by the way. I want to focus in, and Rich, thank you for calling, as always.
Yep.
Also,
Always good listen.
quickly, a $1.99 super chat from our friend Swell and Sausage. Thank you as well, Swell and Sausage, saying, do you think D-Mac might be playing catcher now? No, he's D-Mac's not a catcher. I've seen him. He's a shortstop, third baseman all the way.
He's that athletic.
No.
He's got that range. Oh, what?
No, I just want to see him, take one off the ankle and laugh at my boy a little bit. But I want to focus on the Grove thing. I will say I don't think Grove was expecting any of that smoke out of Nick Castellanos in that situation. I mean, you shouldn't. Oh. Yeah, that's like it very clearly was a fastball that ran on him a little bit too much and just came up and in and happened to hit Castellanos in the chest. But I would have seen. I would have preferred to have seen a little less deer in the headlights look at a Grove in that situation. Just a little less.
Sure, I would have liked it, but.
If I'm forcing a response to this, that's the one thing I wanted to focus on, and that was like, if I'm being nitpicky, I could also like the bravado of somebody being like, you know what, fuck it, and now I'm gonna go in there and strike out the next guy. But just to throw that out there.
Sure. I mean, it's
Neil says Grove should have yelled back at Castellanos. So at least give him some sarcasm back.
That's not Grove though. If anybody's watched, I know Dodger Blue. And Jeff have done a couple interviews with Grove in the past. He's just really mild-mannered. He's just a nice guy. And that's not his fault. Like, that's who he is. And I didn't, if Butane's on the mound, if Joe Kelly's on the mound, sure, yeah, they got a little bit more fire. They got a little bit more vitriol, so you'd expect something like that. But no, not Grove. I mean, it'd be the same thing if like Yarbrough hit him. You just kind of be like, what?
You said that name?
I know. Rest in peace, the ghost of Ryan Yarbrough.
In the month of our Lord August.
Hey, we traded for him in the month of our Lord August last year. All right. So it means something, but it's not in his nature. And I don't get why Castellanos needed to show him up there. He's a professional. He's been around long enough to know on a 1-2 count when he's ahead, the last thing that guy's trying to do is hit you. Be a professional. I think of the two, he has way more experience in the major leagues than Grove does. Be the bigger man. Just walk to first.
Yeah, that's just like read the situation, man. Read the situation. There's no reason for any of it, and there was no reason for freaking Nick Cage to retaliate and hit my boy Lux.
Exactly. As Kenny Chung says, that is what's seriously missing from the Dodgers. Not one teammate chirped when Lux got punked, and that's both telling.
You know who's missing? You know the guy who's missing? That's Max Muncy. That's his role. That's his job.
Yeah, that he's an enforcer. He's also built like one. But exactly, that's
beefy boy.
The fact that Lux was just the only one going, the fuck was that?
Exactly.
Those were his words, not mine. And nobody, if we didn't get a shot of the dugout or anything from anyone saying anything, that's a Dodgers issue. That's something that they need to figure out. You know, you'd like Teoscar or Miggy maybe to say something in that spot. Maybe Max might have been there anyway.
I don't think he was.
He's been in the dugout a few games.
He should have been. He's been there for every home game. Yeah. Like unless they flew him out early. By the way, I don't know if anybody also happened to catch this, and we'll get to the last couple of voicemails in a second. But Max has one of like the coach's folding chairs that's on the bench with like his name on the back, because I'm pretty sure he's just like, at this point, I might as well just be a coach. So I thought that was kind of funny. I think that was just kind of a tongue-in-cheek situation that arose for them to mess with Max. It's like, hey, you might as well have a seat. You ain't playing anytime this year. But
that bothered me more than anything.
Kenny Chung saying there's no damn dogs. This team needs some dogs. Also, Rebecca saying we need some dog. We were saying in Discord earlier, I forgot. I think it might have been Noah saying it. For somebody else, I apologize. But Tommy Pham would have had that dog. We said earlier, Alana and I said earlier, Alana says this team needs some asshole. Well, she didn't want Tommy Pham, but Pham would have been that type of guy. Pham would have been out there.
He would have been out there. I like. To an extent, I agree. I think this team has the kind of dog that I personally like. You get guys like Teoscar and Shohei where in big moments, if they do something, they're more of like cheer for yourself, boost up your guys. Don't like slam the other team. Don't call out the other team. I prefer that kind because don't give bulletin board material. Teoscar hits that single, I forget against who, and he's fired up. He's saying, come on first. But I like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but also
I get it. Like having one guy on the roster that would just fight anybody on any given night. Yeah. I don't having one guy. It's not a big deal, but
I mean, people are tuning in on this thread here. Joe Mama says Dodgers are soft. My friend, my guy here, Josh Gitt, saying Dodgers have some serious softness on this team. They need to get tough.
Who needs to get tossed there? Nick Ahmed. Nick Ahmed needs to get tossed there because he's not long.
Well, he said they need to get tough, not tossed. But I agree. Yeah, Nick Ahmed come running out of nowhere, try to get some. Hey, honestly, it's hard to DFA the guy who went and fought for your second baseman.
No, then he's on the IL and he collects a big boy paycheck.
Oh, big boy paycheck. Yeah, that's all I got to do. Wait, I could have gotten paid if I just went out and fought Hunter Wendelstedt.
Exactly.
I think that's how it goes. What was I going to say? One championship in 12 years of success. 11 coming on 12 years of success. It's always been the ho-hum, act like you've been there. We're not going to really, even early on. I mean, Puig was I would say the last 7 years has been that. The Dave Roberts era has very much been that. Puig, there was a lot of fights back then. We had beef with the Padres.
Would you rather have
the
that?
Diamond. I don't know. I think there's something to it. Not that those teams won anything either. But when you see a team kind of act soft, I'm not saying go out there and be stupid like Nick Castellanos. Don't just start beef for the sake of beefing. Like, we ain't beefing here. But if if Lux got hit, something needed to happen there. Something, at least, players running on the field. The Dodgers have not been playing well. Show some emotion. Don't just be like, well, we have a day off tomorrow, so I don't want to sprain my pinky toe. So we won't go out there. Let's just end this game. Let's just get this over with. That was kind of the feeling. Let's just kind of get this over with. So does that equal anything? Does having a team that goes around just fighting all the time equal anything? No. Doesn't guarantee you anything. But I think
everybody likes to talk about how the Phillies are that like big fighting team. The fighting Phils, and they bleed piss and vinegar. They lost to the Diamondbacks.
You got to get that checked. You got to get that checked.
They lost the same as everybody. Like it's not all it's cracked up to be. It's not. I think there's a blend. There is a blend.
I think having a couple of those guys.
I'll agree with that. Yeah.
And Max is not even like one of those guys that's gonna at every little thing. But he's still somebody. He's still that dog that's standing at the door. He's ready to pounce, but he's shaking his ass at you a little bit. He's wiggling his tail,
telling you to go fish
think
it out
about
of the
that,
ocean.
guys. Everybody visualize that. Max Muncy. Sitting like a dog, like a good boy at the door, shaking his ass, and I'm sorry. Let's go ahead and move on to the next voicemail. Might not get to them all tonight, guys, or maybe we will. I mean, we don't have no boss or no babysitter, so here's I don't know who. Another first-time caller, long-time listener. Oh, shit, I think they actually say that. Let's get into it.
Hey, this is Nico, a.k.a. Grizzlyoso. First-time caller, long-time watcher, and forum logger, Discord user. My hot take for this past game, God, where to begin? First, I don't know what happened to Joe Kelly. I don't know how he crumbled. I don't know why that happened. It was the worst thing for me, being such a big Kelly fan, to have ever seen. I wanted Kelly to be beating people, and then later on they beat Lux, and I'm just like, are you kidding me right now? Like, what? Kelly should have been beating people then, if that's how it's going to be,
Oh, I'm going to pause it right there and say, like, I should have played this before we just went on that rant. Apparently, I should have played this voicemail before we went on the rant.
Well, we screwed up. We should listen to these before we air them.
All right, we're going to continue. Go ahead. Keep going, button that I have to push again.
And I can't believe this. I feel like this game, that game should have been ours. I don't know what's going on with Stone. He kind of looked okay in the beginning, and then all of a sudden, he just fell apart. And same thing with Kelly. Like, I was like, are you kidding me right now? Like, why is this happening to us? It was like watching a slow motion car wreck. That's probably the best way to put it. And like, you couldn't look away, but you wanted to look away. And so frustrated. I hate this. And the umps, my God, the umps. Oh my God. The guy was making a name for himself. Is he trying to be the new Angel Hernandez? Like, what even was any of that? And then, where's the Dodgers drive? Where's the anger? Where's the frustration? If Puig was there, we would have had benches cleared. It would have been a whole thing. But I don't know. I don't know what's going on with the team, and I hope we start to see more emotion, more drive, just more desire, because it just feels like everybody came out of the All-Star break, and it's just kind of like whatever. But the Padres and Diamondbacks are coming hard. So I hope that we can pull something off. I don't know. F the umps. Fuck. The commissioner of baseball, please get rid of the ghost runner. And that's all I've got.
What? You know what? I was a little worried when I saw the call was somewhere around 3 minutes, but damn, that was a fun call right there. It's Grizzly Oso here on the YouTube. Nico calling in. I think that's what you said, right? Nico. Yeah, again, we should have played that before going on our rant. There's a lot of things in there that we kind of already echoed. So we don't need to dive too much into it. But I think there is a section of the fan base that would like to see at times a little bit more, fire, a little bit more something. That's all I got.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this already. Yep. I would like to see them do something, but at the same time, it's really not a huge deal. Like, at the point of the game where Lux gets plunked, it's so out of, like, they were losing 8-4 at that point. Why add insult to injury? The last thing you need is to start something and all of a sudden somebody gets rocked and all of a sudden, you're out another key player and this team's already injured. Sure, chirp back, but Lux did enough and honestly thought he handled it like a professional, just a quick, what the fuck was that? Go to first. He's not jerks and Profar throwing his helmet, writhing on the ground.
Yeah, I don't think Lux should have been the guy. It should have been somebody backing him up. That's what I would have liked to have seen. All right, let's get to 3 more quickies. We'll rapid fire these as best as we can. We got another first-time caller.
Ooh. Hello, Dodger fan family. This is Victor from Eureka. First time calling in. I'm a Gen X, so if this offends you, I don't care. I'm only calling in because Diane told me to, and real men always listen to the ladies. I definitely don't know much about baseball. This is why I listen to a dude named Clint. I'm done with all the excuses. I don't want to hear about bowling scores or who wore what at what event. I'm done with the fire Dave Roberts BS. And he got to the keys of the Bentley. Well, that Bentley is broken down. Parts are on back order. And when they show up, they're never what we really wanted. If you don't like it, well, you could eat that Bentley lengthwise. Well, let the boys play ball. Act like we have their back, and if the baseball gods are unhappy, I live in Giants territory. Just direct me to the nearest active volcano. Go Dodgers. Love you all. Dodger family.
Great stuff there from our friend Viccez. Victor in the chat getting some love. I mentioned the baseball gods. We don't need to dive too much into it, but just win.
Really quick, Kenny Chung brings up a great point. You know who should have gotten tossed for Lux? Will Smith. It's not like he was going to get batted for anyway. You're just sitting there. Get thrown out. Read the room.
Oof. Get wrecked, Will Smith. Catching strays here today. All right, we got another. There's a shorty. Let's listen to a shorty here real quick, guys.
My name is Ian, aka Sermon King on YouTube.
Oh, right on.
Everyone, calm down, calm down, calm down. Things might be grim, things might be down, but turn that frown upside down. Mookie will be back. We will win. And October will be beautiful. Thank you.
Our first song here on the voicemail hotline. That's pretty freaking cool. Thank you, Ian. Appreciate you. Sermon King. I've also seen that name here on the internet for many, many a year. Yeah, you know what? Sometimes the what is it? The bearer of reality doesn't play as well on the internet. People want to hear that everything is wrong and bad, but also, like he said, things are gonna be okay. Just goose fraba, breathe a little bit. Goose fraba. We got one more, guys. I believe it's Noah. Let's listen to Noah.
Well, it's Noah, as you know, guys.
It is Noah.
And oh my God, the baseball gods really hate us. I am still pissed over yesterday with that very bad call. Man, we just can't seem to catch a break. And then just when we have the chance to catch up and win a series, Honeywell just falls apart. And Dave, come on. You really had to kill us like that when we were only behind by 2 runs? Damn. And Andy Pages, you got to step up, or else then I want you in the postseason. And Kenny Kiermaier, you might be a DFA candidate because I expect more out of you, man. And guys, let's look at the bright side. It's possible that we will make it in the wild card, and it's possible that we will still win the World Series, given how the wild card teams have mostly won these past years. So that's something to be not too worried about. But the good news, guys, though, is Mookie and Muncy are coming back. That's when this starts to heat up. With the teams, Diamondbacks and Padres only, at this time, 2.5 games behind us, that means that we're practically going to start all over, and it's going to feel like we're starting a new season with a new team when Muncy and Mookie come back. So there's still hope, guys, and I don't want to fire Dave Roberts yet. And Will Smith, unfortunately, is no longer in the MD4. I hope he steps it up, guys. Let's go, Dodgers!
Poor Will. Catching strays.
Catching some strays is William Dills Smith.
Well, he deserves them.
He kind of definitely deserves them. Guys, there's our voicemail hotline for the day. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. That was fun. I thought getting some different voices in there, some different opinions after a tough stretch, really a tough series against Philly. Getting different thoughts, I think, is nice to get in there. And some good stuff in there from the great callers here of the All Dodgers world, or whatever we want to call it. We got a lot more stuff we were going to talk about. You want to still just keep letting it rip?
Yeah, I'm fine. I got nowhere to be.
You guys are ready. You guys are ready to go. Because we're not done talking Dodgers. We got to talk about the new-ish segment, we're going to call it. It's Honest Truths. And we got to talk about Joe Kelly. Joe Kelly's kind of gotten a hero's treatment here in LA. Maybe it's not warranted. Kevin, I wanted to hear all like your thoughts on this. Talk Joe Kelly for us. Is this like one of the better options this bullpen could have?
No is the short answer. I don't know if we're going to do the whole – because I put together a pitching staff for the playoffs, and I wasn't trying to slight Joe Kelly, but he didn't make it on there. He just didn't. There are some numbers that do back Joe Kelly. Expecting batting average likes Joe Kelly. He also has a BABIP of 370, so there's like maybe some unluckiness there. What kills me, though, is a couple of numbers. His strikeout rate is the worst it's been since 2020 at 24.7, and that's his game. If he's not striking dudes out, he's not doing much because he gives up so much loud contact. And that's also been a problem, is he gives up a lot of hard contact. Yeah. His 784 OPS against is the worst since 2016. Again, like you got to be striking guys out. You got to be limiting damage. He's not doing either of those. I mean, you got guys basically batting almost like at this point, Will Smith against him at every at-bat, which, I don't know if this says more about Will Smith or about everybody else. The one thing that really bothers me about Joe Kelly is in 22 games, 21 games and like 20.2 innings, he has 2 hit by pitches, a balk, and 3 wild pitches. That's a lot of free base runners. Like, that's not even walks. That's just dudes getting on base or advancing runners for no reason other than he can't control where the ball is going. And I guess in one instance, he lifted his leg in a way that the umpires didn't like. But still, that's a lot of variance that we can't have in October.
That's a really good point. The October part there sold me all the way. Not that I needed to be sold, but I was looking at his BREF earlier, looking at those hits, looking at those walks, looking at the hits per 9, the walks per 9, the whip at a little over 1.5. And your job as a reliever is to, limit base runners. He doesn't do a very good job of that. And I agree he's not one of your 13 best pitchers on the staff as our friend Scott Gearman joins us. What's going on, buddy? We're bullshitting or we're upset, or I don't even know. We're not upset. We're talking Joe Kelly right now. We're talking bullpen. We're talking pitching staff. And we're wondering, is Joe Kelly one of the 13 best pitchers when all is said and done, when everybody's healthy and we get to October? Is he one of the 13 best? And what did you say, Kevin? You said no, and I agree. He is not one of the 13 best. And somebody said in the chat, the face, the pouty face, that was 6 years ago now. We could move on. I don't think it was that long ago, but still.
No, it was
4 years ago because it happened in 20,
yeah.
and it was about 17 and 18 and whatever. But
so I came up with 13 guys that I like more than Joe.
Yeah, I got some. I listed it more in like the locks and then the guys I really hope we do see.
Okay.
Scott says can't be one of their high leverage arms, but if he's not a high leverage arm, then he doesn't belong in there. You kind of need to get your highest leverage guys in there. But what do you want to do? Do you want to? We didn't talk this part out too well, guys. So bear with us a little bit. We're letting it eat. And
list
out your 13, or do you want me to do it?
I was going to do the 4 starters for me are Glasnow, Yamamoto, Flaherty, and then either Kershaw or Stone, whoever's pitching better. Agree, disagree with those? Who did you like? Just for starters.
I mean, for starters, yeah, I agree. But the thing I worry the most about is Dave Roberts and Clayton Kershaw and this Dodgers organization and Clayton Kershaw. If we see more of Tuesday Kershaw,
that's why I said whoever's better.
Yeah, getting through 5. But if you have Kersh and he is your number 4 starter in the postseason, then this roster it absolutely has to have one of River Ryan or Justin Robleski on it, or I mean, really, one of those 2 guys need to be on it.
Well, so that's where I'm going. So then my 9. So I had 4 starters. Kershaw, Gavin Stone being, whoever's better. My 9 starters in no particular order: Evan Phillips, Blake Trinan, Daniel Hudson, Michael Kopech, Alex Vesia, Anthony Banda, Michael Grove, Ryan, and then Justin Robleski is the long man. That leaves off both Kelly and Ryan Brazier. And if I'm being entirely honest, between the 2, give me Brazier because I know what I'm getting. I have enough high leverage arms. The argument against Brazier is he has a higher BABIP. So he's been a little luckier and still equally as bad, but I know what I'm getting, as opposed to Kelly, where even if he's kind of serviced as like you're down 2, you need a guy he could either strike him out or he could load the bases and we have no idea why, because he walked 2 and hit another one. You know what I mean? Like I'd rather it's a personality thing. I'd rather deal with the devil I know versus the devil I don't. But that still leaves both those guys off the roster for River Ryan and Justin Robleski. But this also assumes that Yamamoto's healthy. Yeah. But in my list where Yamamoto isn't healthy, I just shift River Ryan to the starting position and just say, let the kid eat.
I'm okay with that. But then I'm also terrified of the idea of I'm kind of, I don't know if I'm out on Stone, but I'm very worried about Stone. And I think, I think he needs to be the guy. We're going to talk about Buehler in a second, but I think he needs to be the guy that kind of bites the bullet, goes back down to AAA for a couple of weeks just to give him a blow, they might say. But we don't need to have Buehler in addition to all these guys in the rotation, or if it's those guys until Yamamoto comes back, maybe. But I don't hate anything you're saying. The locks, I was right there with you. I had Phillips, Hudson, Trinan, Kopech, Vesia, and Banda. And it's funny that I think we all kind of have Anthony Banda in our guaranteed roster because he's just been freaking good. There's still a Brusdar Gratterall factor as well. They say he's not done for the season. I say he's done for the season.
I think he's done for the season.
I had the list as outside looking in quickly. Kelly, Grove, Brazier, they are all very firmly on the outside. Another name you didn't mention, Bobby Miller, outside looking in.
For me, my Grove pick is he's used as a 1-inning guy. That's why I picked Grove and Robleski. Robleski can be your multi-inning guy. Let Grove just do 1 inning, because when he's just emptying the tank on 1 inning, the dude eats. He is what we want Joe Kelly to be. He's got nasty stuff. He throws high velo. Like, you can easily replace a Joe Kelly with a Michael Grove for 1 inning. That's not hard to do. Yeah, Rebecca, Michelle, David. I still like Grove for winning. Yep, agree.
Yeah, he's been
Diane
he's
Schroeder
been
says
solid
no on
in that
Miller
role.
and Buehler. Buehler had a good outing at AAA today. Maybe he figures something out. I mean, we could throw him into the Kershaw Stone, like mix of whichever of those three is pitching better, in terms of what have you done for me lately category. Sure. But like, no matter how this slices out, like I have Kelly like 15th out of 13. I would prefer Brazier, and I got 2 rookies well ahead of him. 3 if you count Stone.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm going to make this more exciting for bitchy ass No Mercy Inc. in the chat. I'm going to make it more exciting, and I'm going to say River Ryan and Justin Robleski need to be on a postseason pitching staff. They need to be on this pitching staff as it is right now. Of course, you let them continue to extend themselves at AAA while they're well, at least Robleski's case, you do that. But I got to have those guys. They are just such wild cards, good in a good way in the postseason. Because sometimes, and I said this earlier on Dodgers territory, sometimes having that, what'd you say? The devil you don't know. Having that kind of really works well against other teams in the postseason. We've seen that happen. Not always, but if it's somebody that it's incredibly talented, you could look at a River Ryan as a K-Rod type, as an Adam Wainwright type in 2006, as a Chris Sale type at different, early in his career, back when the White Sox actually knew how to win any ball games. Those type of dudes make a difference, and if they could be somebody who offers up some length at any point in the game, then you're protected against Kershaw, and Kershaw can start game 4 or something like that. But
like we had this dream last year, and it just didn't come to fruition because they gave up all those millions of runs. But could you imagine like a Clayton Kershaw, River Ryan platoon, or just piggyback?
The piggyback, yeah.
You get Kershaw for 4, you get Ryan for 3, and just eat for 7 innings, and just turn it like that would be, or invert it. Kershaw for 3, Ryan for 4. Who cares? However you want to piece it together, but like that's something that you would dream about. It's just it takes the front office actually doing something like this. And disclaimer, I don't think this is the list that the front office will come up with. I think they've solidly have Kelly in their plans.
Yeah,
sure.
And that's that frightens me. That's the type of thing that really gets you worried about this team, because they do that. They really do those type of dumb things where, well, Kershaw's healthy, he's just going to be on the roster. Joe Kelly, he's just going to be on the roster. Chris Taylor, he's just going to be on the roster. Kike Hernandez, we don't care. He's just going to be on the roster.
Yep. It's
Kenny Chung says Dodgers fighting nostalgia, loyalty, injuries, and their own manager.
Man, Dave plays with the guys he's got. Dave doesn't make any personnel decisions other than who starts that day. He's not out there setting the 26-man roster. So I don't think that's an issue. I do think they are fighting a little bit of loyalty. They promised Kike certain things at the beginning of the year, and they're sticking to it, even though he's not been great for most of the year. He's been okay down the stretch. But as far as the bullpen goes, I think there's a really good bullpen in here. It's just going to take the Dodgers to, swallow a couple of hard pills of, hey, man, that might not involve Joe Kelly. It might not involve Ryan Brazier, no matter what the contracts they issue at the beginning of the year indicated.
That I fully get behind. And that's where I hope, Dave is true to his words, what he told us yesterday post-game, that they're going, I'll paraphrase it, but they're going to have their best guys out there and available when, the important time of the season comes. And, don't back down on that. If somebody hasn't earned it, if Walker hasn't earned it, I'm sorry, you don't get to be on the postseason roster. Kershaw hasn't earned it. You could be the 13th guy. You're not going to get. They're obviously not going to do that with Kersh, but still, there has to be some. What do they like to call it? I can't think of the word right now. I'm distracted by the troll that was in the chat a little bit, but
nah.
Yeah, there has to be.
Scotty. Good luck in your pregame prep or pre-show prep.
Well, they got Scotty going live tonight. Yes, sir.
So. Yep.
Attaboy, guys. Make sure you go hang out with Scotty. Was it Gritty Scotty G over with our friends at Dodger Blue tonight, 8 o'clock, I believe. We're almost done here soon enough. But we got to talk Walker Buehler because we did want to talk about Walker Buehler. We talked a little bit around Buehler there. Did start tonight, OKC, 5 1/3, 1 run, 3 walks, and 5 Ks. His best start. He did save his best start for last. They say he's coming back. He's coming back either way, whether or not it's going to take River Ryan's spot. And by the way, we're going to talk about it in a second as we look at this previews, the Pirates series preview. But my God, Paul Skeens versus River Ryan on Saturday. God, that's going to be a fun one right there.
That's just sheer talent. That's raw talent.
That's what you want to see
on display.
How long of a leash do you give Walker Buehler? I said early in the season I want to see 8 starts before I really start to formulate an opinion. He doesn't. If he comes back, he doesn't have 8 more starts until the end of the season. Like,
no.
What are we looking
at? He might. If he's on a 5, if he's on the 5-man, he would have 8. For me, I'd give him until what does it? So, in my opinion, what they should do, I doubt they do it. What would it take for Gavin Stone to ramp up? What do you think? He needs 3 starts. Give him 3. Give him 3 to get him into October shape.
Yeah, I mean, he throws hard, but he doesn't throw a lot.
He doesn't throw a lot. So give him 3 starts. That puts him in the second week of September. You give Buehler a month. Give him 4, maybe 5. I would like to see them option Gavin Stone for Buehler. Give Gavin Stone a rest. I think his arm is kind of tired right now. His stuff isn't breaking the way it normally does. It's not as sharp. Give him a rest. Let Buehler take his spot for 4 turns in the rotation. If it plays, it plays, and you ride. If it sucks, like it has been, then you call Gavin Stone back up, let him get into shape, build him back up for October, and then go. Yeah, but that's how I would do it. That's what I'm thinking. But like you said, chances are they'll option River Ryan, which is a giant mistake. But
yeah. But if River Ryan isn't going to be starting, then I'm okay. I'm okay with them, kind of giving him more starts at AAA just so he stays extended for if and when they do need him in a couple of months. I saw a comment, what was it? Pinsanity said, and I really liked it. I think it was Pinsanity. This one kind of, could be a little brain bomb for some of us here. Dodgers don't have as much time as they think. Like, nope, these 2 months are going to go really quick. It's already almost 10 days into August. We're August 8th. Shit goes
they don't
fast.
have a lot of time, and they don't have a lot of room. Diamondbacks, Padres creeping up. They represent the division, but they're also the top 2 spots in the wild card. If all of a sudden they fall behind the Diamondbacks, the Dodgers are, in danger of, falling to that last wild card spot or potentially out of it. So they don't have a lot of time. They don't have a lot of room. Buehler is going to come back up, and he needs to perform. This isn't necessarily a lot of tryout time. It's, hey, man, 5 days from now, I think he would pitch against the Brewers. We need a good start from him against the Brewers. He cannot go 3 innings and give up 3 runs. He's got to go 4. He's got to go 5 and give up less than or 2 or less. You know what I mean? We need actual good starts at this point. So.
Them's the truths, and the Dodgers, they got to get through the Pirates series before any of that, before we even see Walker Buehler. So let's look ahead to that Pirates series where, hey, I think this is going to be a pretty damn good series. I think it's going to be a fun series.
Yep.
Dodgers are going to be facing the depleted Dodgers, as I burp my way into this one. The depleted Dodgers are going to be facing some pretty damn good starting pitching right away. Does not get easier for LA, but you're fighting right now. This team is fighting to stay in that 2 seed. And they're running out their best. They're running out the best they have available. And, yes, I'm lumping River Ryan into that situation. So, Game 1, Friday night, Jack Flaherty versus Mitch Keller. Keller has been fantastic this year. River Ryan, this is one of those series you have circled on your calendar when you know the matchups. River Ryan versus Paul Skeens. That is fun. That is good baseball. Young talent, even though River Ryan is on the older side of young. He'll be 27 in a few days, in about 10 days, I think it is. And then Saturday, us folks going to the All-Dodgers meetup at Dodger Stadium. We get to see Tyler Glasnow versus Bailey Falter. Are you as excited as I, even though we already talked about it, are you as excited as I about this River Ryan Paul Skenes matchup.
I like this. So it's been a while, or it's been a while since I've seen a matchup that I've been excited about from a pitching standpoint from the Dodgers. When Yamamoto went out, it was a lot of who's who. James Paxton's, Gavin Stone, he was struggling. You get a lot of kind of filler. You get excited for Glass now, but at that point, we kind of know what he is, and you just hope he does well. Both Flaherty and River Ryan, I'm excited to see those guys pitch. I expect them to hopefully contribute to this team in the playoffs. Excited to see what they can bring this late in the year. So, yeah, super excited. Paul Skeens is nasty. Shohei did hit a homer off him last time. Maybe he saw something and give them a little bit of a little bit of insight as to how it hit that guy, because he's been, good God, he's like 22 and just like damn near unhittable at this point. Whew.
Badan Coz, B-Dan Coz, I don't know how to say it. Somebody's got to tell him. B-Dan Cozy. So many ways I could do it, but he says hopefully Livy Dunn is there all weekend so she could meet Uncle Clint. Thank you. What's a Livy Dunn, anyways? I really don't know what she does.
She a baby Gronk rizzed up Livy Dunn once, I believe.
That's a sentence that just came out of your mouth. Guys, you got a prediction? You got a prediction in this one? I'm feeling 2 of 3. Dodgers 2 of 3. I felt that on the Phillies series, but the umps.
I think it is a 1 of 3. I think Flaherty shoves.
Tough luck, Al.
They don't. Yeah, and then I think Skeens gets to him, and I think that Glasnow falter. They salvage a sweep. So I think Glasnow shoves against a pretty middling Pirates lineup. It's not great as long as Jack Sawinski isn't playing, and yeah, I think they salvage a sweep. But yeah, I think those first 2 games, I mean, Skeens is just nasty.
Well, hopefully we get one half of a pitcher's duel on Sunday. We want the Dodgers to go out there and score 16, and we want Tyler Glasnow to shove for 8 scoreless, because that's what we're hoping for, because we will be there, guys. If you're at Dodger Stadium for Matt Kemp bobblehead on Sunday night, Sunday afternoon, come by, say hi to me and some of the friends of the show here, friends of the channel. We will be Left Field Pavilion, section 303. You can't miss us, because I'll be the loud guy.
Are they giving Kemp his MVP award from 2011? Is you getting that? Is that on the bobblehead?
You know, you got to talk to Bud Selig about that one, actually. We'll get him on next week. Get him on next Thursday when I won't be here next Thursday. But, guys, if you want to know more about how to find, get in on the meetups where we talk about them because they happen in the Discord, you got to sign up. Patreon.com/RealFRG. $5 a month, less than the price of a Dodger dog. You can join us, have good conversation with some like-minded baseball minds, hopefully like-minded baseball minds, either here or there or on YouTube. Members, again, if you're looking to join the fun, sign up. It also helps the channel. If we're able to get more people, we can start doing more and more content, and I think it would be a lot of fun. But another way, if you can't do that, just support by subscribing. That goes a long way. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoy the content. Share it to your friends. That always also goes a long way. But with that said, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you so damn much for the comments, the great questions, the engagement here on the show. Thank you so damn much for the super chats from the folks that did send their hard-earned money our way. Gotta thank our moderators, even though a couple of them went to sleep later in the show. No, I'm not going to throw them under the bus. We like having one person get through and feel like they're making a difference. Moderators, you guys do a kick-ass job in making this one of the best chats here on the internet. People, having good like-minded baseball conversation. And if you're not like-minded, we can still be civil about it. So appreciate you guys. I appreciate producer Kevin right there. He's at the tiny table right now, the kids table. Give him a follow at Skinner7 Kevin on the X. If you don't give him a follow, I'm going to know, and I'm going to be really, really upset about it. All Dodgers is presented by Bet Online. Use that promo code BELIEVE and get that 50% free welcome bonus thing I talk about at the beginning of the show. I'm Real FRG on the Twitter, on the Instagram. Follow me on Instagram if you want to see behind the scenes at the meetup day. Hope we earned a thumbs up on the way out, and we'll see you on the next one. Okay, bye.